Hello. So we're going to go over what happened in chapter 10, chapter 11, and then we are going to read chapter 12. So in chapter 10, a reporter came to Dadaab to make a video about the refugee camp. So this makes Omar and his friends super excited because usually they give out candy. And then later, a social worker named Susanna comes to school and tells Omar that she wants to help him and Hassan in any way that they need. So that was chapter 10. In chapter 11, our summary is Omar and Nemo are at school. Tall Ali runs in and tells them that they are on the list for interviews with the UN and they might be resettled. Then Jerry got upset because he's jealous of Omar, but eventually they forgive each other. After that, Omar starts preparing for the interview by practicing what he will say about his past and his time in Somalia. Finally, Omar, Hassan, and Fatima walk far away to where the UN interview is going to be. And that is where we start today. This is chapter 12, and it is the day of their interview. Just like I am, please make your screen full screen so you can read along with me. All right. I got up early the next morning. The sound of people getting ready all around me woke me up. I got us water, we brushed our teeth, we put on our clean clothes. Very handsome. We waited. As the sun got higher, people got more and more anxious. They started crowding the door, afraid they'd be overlooked. Finally, the door opened. People started pushing and scrambling to get to the front of the line. Just stay with me, boys. Don't worry. We have an appointment. We will be seen. Everything will be okay. We stepped into a big waiting area. I don't know how so many people were already there. Everyone looked nervous. Every so often, a UN worker would open a door and say, Saeed Farah, Abdullahi Mire, Omar Mohammed, and Hassan Mohammed. I suddenly felt like my legs would fold up under me. I forced myself to stand up. It helped to hold on to Hassan and Fatima. We walked into the office. Have a seat. My name is David. I work for the United Nations. I'll be conducting your initial interview. English? I didn't know the interview would be in English. How was I supposed to? This is Salat. He'll be your interpreter. He said his name is David. He works for the United Nations and he'll conduct your initial interview. My name is Salat, and I'll be your interpreter. Whew. It took a while to talk. First, the UN guy asked a question. Then, the interpreter repeated it in Somali. Then, I answered in Somali. Then, the interpreter repeated it in English. What is your name? Magaka. Magaksiku wa Omar Mohammed. My name is Omar Mohammed. Remember, this is not a trial. There's no right or wrong answers. We just need to get a file started to see if you are eligible for resettlement. Do you understand? I wondered if the UN worker had ever smiled in his entire life. I wish Susana Martinez were here. Yes, I understand. Just answer honestly and completely, and everything will be fine. Let's begin. Where were you born? I was born in the small town of Marure in Somalia. It's a rural area. Our father was a farmer. What do you remember of your home? I was only a little kid, but I remember. Green. I remember the color green. I remember my dad used to take me out to the fields with him while he worked. My mother would bring him lunch and we'd all eat together under a tree. Why did your family leave Somalia? Omar, what do you remember happening on the day you left your home? I'd practiced this story many times in my head. I didn't realize how hard it would be to say the words out loud to this unfriendly man in this strange room. Young man, I remember. So, why do you think Omar's having a hard time sharing his story with this kind of unfriendly UN worker? Choose the answer in that puzzle. I remember my toys. I was playing under a tree with my toys. I loved those toys. My dad made them for me. I used to build houses with them. And then? And then the men came. I didn't know them. I'd never seen them before. They walked out into the field and started talking with my father. They started yelling and then bang, bang, bang. I ran back toward our house. My mother was walking to the fields, carrying lunch for me and my father. She had Hassan with her. Mama! I had a hard time telling her what happened. I was so little, but she seemed to understand right away that something bad had happened. Take your brother Omar, run as fast as you can back to our village. Go to Sadia's house next door. She'll take care of you until I come back. Don't be scared, my brave boy. I need you to take care of your brother. I will come back to you as soon as I can. Everything will be okay. Our house and our village was far from our fields. Hassan couldn't walk very fast at all. We barely made it to my neighbor's house before, Omar, Hassan, get inside quickly. We've heard rumors. Then I heard gunshots and screaming, and soon the whole village was running. There were angry men everywhere. Run, Omar, run! Mama, where's Mama? Mama, run! We ran. Every direction we turned, we found more fighting. We ran and we ran and we ran. Hush, Omar, you must be quiet. I want Mama. What happened to your mother? Did she find you? Run! Do you know what happened to her? No, sir. Do you have any idea about your mother's whereabouts today? Is she alive or is she. Mama! I don't know, sir. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Please, the boy needs a break. All right, we'll be back in 5 minutes. Why didn't she find us? I don't know. What happened to her? Where is she? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know she loved you. A mother always does. Hoyo. I brought you something to drink. Some juice. My juice feels funny. It's cold. Yes. It may sound weird, but that was the first cold drink I'd ever had in my entire life. Shall we continue? I think he was trying to smile. Yes, I'm ready. I told the man how we walked with our neighbors for days, weeks. It's funny, we'd never spent that much time with our neighbors before, but now they had our lives in their hands. Our neighbor, Sadia, took care of us, even though she was very old. She never left us behind. We walked and walked and walked, but there was no place to go. There was too much fighting. What happened in our village was happening everywhere in Somalia. We had to find someplace safe. Our group couldn't travel very fast. It was mostly older people or moms with young children, but we walked as fast as we could. As we walked, we met more and more people who were running from their homes. We didn't know where we were going, but we all kept walking, one foot in front of the other. So, why are all these people walking? Why do they have to leave their homes? Choose your answer in the Ed puzzle. Someone in the group had heard about a place in Kenya, a safe place for Somalis to go. It was run by the United Nations, so the grown-ups decided we should leave our country and go there. We followed signs left by other Somalis. A bent tree branch meant turn here. We hid in bushes when we heard fighting. Sometimes we couldn't hide, and the bandits found us. They'd take our food, our clothes, our everything. I was young, but I knew people were dying. Our group got smaller and smaller. Our neighbor Sadia, she took care of us for as long as she could, but she didn't make it. Others in our group must have kept caring for me and Hassan, but I don't remember much of that. As we walked, I got weaker and weaker and weaker. Just as I was fading into nothing, we made it to the camp. I don't remember much about that either. I know that so many Somalis were fleeing the country because of the civil war. We were all automatically registered as refugees. There were too many of us to go one by one. The UN officials separated Hassan and me from our group. They said we were sick and we needed to stay in the hospital. For me, the first years are lost. I felt like I was fading in and out, like I barely existed. Maybe I was a ghost. Hassan, too. Malnourished, sick, malaria, dehydrated. We spent a long time in the hospital. Slowly, we started to fade back in. The nurses had to teach me how to walk again. Funny, after we'd walked so far, I had to learn again. When we were better, a UN worker brought us to our new home. Boys, this is Fatima. Since you arrived without parents, Fatima will take care of you. Think of her as your foster mom. I didn't like Fatima at first. Sorry, Fatima. I wanted my mom. I didn't like the food we had to eat. No! I was used to eating meat and vegetables from our farm. Now, the UN gave us flour and oil, and no one knew how to use it. Some people thought the flour was powdered milk. They mixed it with the water and gave it to their children, and some of them died. And what about Hassan? Oh, sorry, real quick. Describe Omar's journey from Somalia, from his home in Somalia to Kenya. What happened on this trip? So describe everything that happened on his trip to Somalia or his trip to Kenya. And what about Hassan? When did you learn about his disabilities? Well, Hassan was always different from other kids his age. He didn't talk, and he had really bad tantrums. He could scream and kick for hours without getting tired. I was the only one who could calm him down. Shh, Hassan, it's okay. I'm right here. I'm not leaving. I'm right here. But as he got older, I couldn't always help him. He started having seizures. That's what the doctors called them. He would fall to the ground and his body would start jerking around, and I couldn't stop it. Fatima, help! Fatima took him to the hospital, but the doctors didn't know what to do. They didn't know what caused his seizures. They said maybe it was because he was so sick as a little baby. They didn't have any medicine to give him to make them stop. They said the best we could do would be to watch him constantly and make sure he didn't bite off his tongue while he was having a seizure. Word spread amongst our neighbors, and soon everyone was stopping in to give their advice to Fatima. He's not even your real son, Fatima. He's just going to get more and more violent as he gets older. Tell the UN you changed your mind about being a foster mom. What you need to do, Fatima, is keep the boy tied up. That way, he won't harm you or others. Get out! All of you! Tie a boy up! Are you crazy? He is like my own son, and I will treat him as such. Oh, yo. My opinion of Fatima changed after that. The next time Hassan had a seizure, Fatima was right there next to him, holding down his tongue, rocking him, and singing to him. Fatima, why do you want to be our foster mom? Wouldn't your life be much easier without us? Why are you being so nice to us? You remind me of my own children. I had 4 boys of my own, you know. You do? Where are they now? They were killed in Somalia. But they were good boys, sweet boys, just like the 2 of you. Fatima still takes care of us. The UN named her our legal guardian. By now, I had been talking for a long, long time. I was exhausted. But the UN officer still asked question after question after question. Finally, very well, I have everything I need to open your file. Someone will contact you if we need additional information. A UN officer will review your case within 2 to 4 months and decide if you meet the requirements for resettlement. If you do, you will be called back for a second interview with the United Nations. Good day. And just like that, we were outside again. The sun was so bright after being inside all day. My knees felt so weak. All around us, other families were crying. Some just looked shocked. I guess, like me, they had just relived the worst days of their lives. Fatima, Hassan, and I slept under a tree by the UN that night. We didn't feel up to making the trip home just then. We woke up early the next morning to start walking as we were leaving. To start walking. As we were leaving, Omar, we just got here. Our interview's in a few hours. How did it go? It's over. I'll see you in school, I guess. Yeah, see you in school. All right, and that is chapter 12. So a lot happened in chapter 12. I want you to think, what was the most important thing that happened in the chapter, and write that in the Ed puzzle. Thank you for watching. Bye. Let's see if I can get this.